out west, where the hapless Broncos host the Chiefs on Sunday in a game that was really flexed out of prime time. So Thursday on Get Up, Damian Woody had this to say about Russell Wilson's year one here in Denver.
This falls on the player. And this is very revealing as far as Russell Wilson is concerned, because you make this blockbuster trade and you have this stinker of a season. I don't think that ever gets wiped away. And what compounds it all is Geno Smith balling in Seattle. That's what makes this whole thing even worse.
To me, that's the capper when you look at what Geno has done in Seattle. But, RC, I got to come to you because you said this a long, long time ago. The floor is yours. Go ahead. Speak on it, Frat.
Wait, did you say I was right? I want to hear it correctly. Did you, not that I said it a long time ago, I was looking more for the setup of RC, you were right, now go. Because I was right. And I think it's, it's one of those things, it wasn't necessarily an assessment that Russell Wilson hasn't been a very good quarterback in this league. To me, it was that Russell Wilson didn't possess all-time great stuff, that Russell Wilson wasn't necessarily the force multiplier or the leader of a team that you can insert anywhere in the NFL and right away that team becomes successful, right away that team becomes explosive offensively. And I would love to say that I thought it could be this bad, but no way I thought it could be this bad. No way did I think the running joke would be Russell Wilson's touchdown passes compared to Russell Wilson's amount of bathrooms in his house. When you think of all the things that happened in Seattle, the one thing that comes to mind is this. John Snyder and Pete Carroll knew something about Russell Wilson and knew something about Geno Smith that none of us knew. They knew that Russell may have been a guy who was helped by the other products or the other players in that office, by the other people or the system that went on in that building, and that Geno Smith could insert himself into that and be successful, and that maybe Russell Wilson isn't a player that can thrive everywhere. Now, do I think that he'll be this bad for the rest of his career? Absolutely not, because he can't be this bad the rest of his career and actually keep a job. But Russell Wilson is to blame for what's going on in Denver. It doesn't matter who the head coach is, because if you're a guy who gets $250 million, you're supposed to elevate. He's only taken away from what the Denver Broncos were with a guy like with a guy like Teddy Bridgewater last year, who was the starter.
Yeah, so then let's give some Broncos fans some hope here, because I was looking at it like, where can we get back to a system where Russell Wilson was thriving, out of the pocket, making deep down the field throws? What can the Broncos do to get that Russell Wilson back?
That's a difficult question, because I think that he's a completely different player than he was when he was younger. And I was in the NFL playing against young Russell Wilson, and when we would game plan against him, you had to worry about that threat of him running, that dual threat out of the pocket. And there were a ton of broken plays early in his career. And with a broken play, you get out of the pocket, which would slow down the pass rush. Now you watch other defenses, they're not slowing down their rush. They're not dialing it back because they're worried about the quarterback running like you would against a Josh Allen, so to speak. So I think that his game has changed a lot. He is not the same guy. He's not the guy that's going to threaten you with moving out of the pocket and then running for first downs, which he did a lot of early in his career. And then you also have to look at the pieces. He had Marshawn. He had a great defense. Like, all those things help you as a player. And moving forward, that's why I'm sitting here. I don't know what they would do with him. Because moving him out of the pocket, I don't know if that's necessarily his best attribute as a player right now, to be moving around and running. He's an older player as well. He's not 28.
So, Acho, is there something you can do offensively to get back to that Russell Wilson? Or if you're Denver, are you just going to be stuck with, you know what, this is probably going to go down as one of the worst trades we've ever done. It's going to set us back for a few years.
I think you just lean on the formula that took him to the Super Bowl and that had him go win the Super Bowl, which is a strong defense and a strong running game. I was in the division playing against Russell Wilson, and it's – say it again?
They're so good on defense. They're so good.
They got the defense.
It's just so bad.
running game as well. You got to have a running game as well, right? So you have a solid defense, and then lean on the running game as well. Like, what my point is, Russell Wilson's in his prime. It was built on that dominant defense, which Denver is near there.
Yep.
But also Marshawn Lynch, and then his ability to move in the pocket. But Russell Wilson was a hard guy to bring down. He was a hard guy to track down when he's not only running for first downs, but evading people in the pocket, delaying defenses' rushes, making plays go longer. And so you've got the defense in place, but now you need to build a running game as well. You don't have to make it at a point where, man, Russell Wilson, you're going to be the center of our offense. Even if you paid him all this money, right? He's an older player. He may not be the same player he was in the past. So change what you have. You want to have hope for your team. Change the way that you've been playing the game to build it around who your player is right now. You have the defense side of the ball. Now change your running attack as well. That's what I would say.
Give me a final word, Brooke.
I mean, look, I agree that I think that Russell has to do some soul searching and look in the mirror and understand that he has to evolve as a quarterback, as an older quarterback, knowing that he doesn't have the same skill set as when he came out because he's aging. I also just want to see Russ work in silence. I'm not saying change your whole persona, change all that stuff. I want to see him win over the locker room, however it is that he does that. But I think that if he has a better connection with his teammates, I think you've got to do some soul searching this offseason and just really stare in the mirror for a while. Don't repeat mantras, anything like that, but just, I think, get back to the core of who you want to be as a player and figure out how to do that as you get older.
Let's ride, guys. Let's ride.
You know the easiest way to fix that, though, is to go ball. Football players in a locker room, it's real simple to win people over. You go out there and you just play fast, and you win over everybody with your performance. And it's less about,
you can about do whatever you want after that.
And
exactly.
let's ride.
So
let's ride.
If you can go ball out, everybody else is going to follow you. They're going to be like, okay, I'm with him. I'm with this guy. When you are a highly paid guy and you're not performing and you're still trying to be the vocal leader, people are like, yo, I'm trying to win football games and set myself up and my family up and get contracts like this guy. We better all perform here. And he's not performing right now.
Good point. All right, guys, can you forgive Cowboy fans for getting their hopes up this year? But what does a successful season really look like for Big D? We are going to keep it here and find out.
Purdy. Wasn't Purdy, but Brock got it done. He's going to get a win against Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And it's going to be because, yes, his weapons on the outside, but also that defense. The San Francisco 49ers defense is the best defense in football. Add that to guys like Ayuk on the offense, guys like McCaffrey. Brock Purdy will get an ugly win.
Ninko tells how the Chargers shocked the Dolphins.
Well, there's going to be some cumulonimbus clouds. I can't even say it.
Cumulus?
Cumulonimbus? Not cumulus. Cumulonimbus. I just dropped my mic. I think there's going to be some lightning there in L.A. I'm going with the Chargers over the Dolphins. Chargers shock the Dolphins.
You are not. RC, do the Dolphins blow through L.A.?
Well, I guess there's going to be a lot of sun shining in Hawaii because Tua Tagovailoa is going to light the Chargers up. I don't know, but whatever it is, Tua Tagovailoa rebounds this week. Mike McDaniel puts him in position to succeed. He'll understand how much he needs to improve over last week, and I think this team gets back to rolling against the Chargers.
Brooke, Cowboys, will they storm